What's good, people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Quality Over Quarantine. This is a special one. This is a big one. This is a massive one. This is one that you lot have been hounding me for, and I was like, I'm gonna try hit him up. I don't know what's gonna happen. He's a superstar out here, but you know what I'm saying? Bro came through. Mr. Shotty Horroh, what you saying, brother?
Chilling, bro. You good?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Like, just before you came on, you were just saying like how you been and whatever, and that's like, I like to start that way. Like, how have you actually been finding I don't know, man, this whole lockdown? Oh wait, hold up, we just lost. We're getting back. We got some technical difficulties. Sorry about this, guys. We just got some technical difficulties, but we're gonna keep trying to get Mr. Shotty Horroh back. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the Skype machine, so when he comes back, we'll get him straight on. Before we even get into this, as always, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Please keep commenting in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and also, man, just keep letting people know we're out here doing this. It's getting, as you can see, man, it's getting quite a big buzz. More and more people are hitting me up, telling me, "Yo, I'm watching it, I'm seeing it." So it's a big deal. So keep letting people know we're out here, man. We're gonna see if we got him back. He's back.
Jeez. Yo, I moved my chair and I hit the fucking plug thing, bro. Oh my god! I was like, no way.
See, that's how it goes, man. Live streaming. To be fair though, I'm a veteran in this, man. I'm like 30 shows in now. I'm just like, that's nothing, man. We'll sort it out. The couple of weeks ago, I would have been like, oh, what do I do? But yeah, man.
Bro, just like that, just now, stressing. I was like, yo, what time to do that?
But how have you been? How have you been over the this lockdown period? How's it been affecting you, and how you been moving?
At first, I was in panic mode. Like, oh
Same.
shit, what the fuck's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then I just was like, yo, this is a time to apply myself, get things in order, get things that you can do only in the house done, and move forward, man. Try and just occupy the minutes and the hours, anything. Do you know what I mean? Just so the time's whizzing by, because the devil makes work, doesn't it? So, do you know what I mean?
It's funny because I know you're a kind of guy who, like, you plan months in advance as well, and you're always got stuff going. So I know, like, because I was the same way. I was literally, we're about to start this show, but in a studio. So all the equipment has been ordered, was ready to go, and then we had a meeting with the building manager to be like, yo, when do you want to start? And then that week is a week of lockdown, so it's like, okay, cool. Like, everything's, but then it's that whole thing of like, well, what do you do? Do you sit back and chill, or do you just say, all right, listen, how can we maneuver through this? And yeah, I know the type of person you are and the type of place you come from. You ain't never stopping, ain't never chilling, man.
And the heartbreaking thing about it is, like you say, I plan months in advance, and I put everything in my reminders in my phone. I get the alert, so it's popping up. This is when I should be doing promo for this. This is when I should be doing that, and it's just like,
it's deep.
Effectively, I lost a full project in a way.
Yeah.
I just dropped Misery Loves Company. We had the tour plan, we had everything, and it's kind of that's done, isn't it? But it's all good.
Yeah. It's funny, man, because like, so my single dropped in January, because I'm getting ready for the project, and then you drop your single because you're getting ready for the project. So I know that feeling, man. And like, it's like, cool. What do you do now? So I've literally, what I've done, I just put an album in between. So I'm dropping an album like the week after next. I'm just like, all right, cool. This is for this time, and then the project I was already planning, we'll do that when we do that. But
yeah. I feel like the rules are gone out the window. The structure, the normal release structure, everything that we're used to, everyday life is out of the window. So even as artists, in a strange way, it's given us some kind of new freedom. Everyone's able to do things that might have been looked at a bit weird before or whatever. Product expectation, people expect a certain thing from certain people. Now we're all getting to show these different sides of our personalities because we're having to improvise and show these different sides of our artistry and stuff like that. So it's dope. Like, I've recorded 2 projects, full projects in lockdown.
Crazy.
Like, I need you on the 3rd one as well. Like,
hey, man's there. Come on, man. You know what's funny, right? So on like leading up to this interview, I was there was something I wanted to reference, right? Because we had a conversation time ago, and I wasn't. And so this morning I woke up, and I went to check on the date, and the date of today is the anniversary of the Manchester bombing, yeah. And it's so deep because I won't even really check it out. Like, I remember that conversation, but I didn't realize it was today. And we had a conversation about that literally 2 days after it happened, yeah. One of the deepest conversations I've ever had with anybody else, especially at the time where we were like, we're cool, but like we're not like buddies, you know what I mean? But we had a deep conversation where I was just like, raw, man, hit me deep, man. And it's from that point I was just like, nah, that's bro. Like, you're already bro, but now it's bro. And I don't think people outside of Manchester really understand what it means or what it meant at the time and what it means now to have something like that happen in your city. A city like Manchester as well, a city like Manchester where people are united, where people come together, and I want you just to speak about that. Like, I'm not gonna go too deep into the conversation we had here, but it was basically just like, bro, like this is super real. This is super close. Yeah, but just speak on that, man. Like how it affected you, how it affected the city.
Well, at the time, I remember I was on set for that Versus movie I was doing.
Yeah.
Super busy, so I was down London anyway. Plus, I was living in Toronto.
Right.
So I was already, I'd flown back to the country to do the movie and stuff. I was already missing the city and whatnot. And I couldn't wait to get a break on set to get back to the city.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as I touched down and I was there in 1 or 2 days, then that happened. And it's just one of them, like, absolute shock at the time. Manchester is such a community where it is so big and booming, same as London and all that, but there's also this sense of, like, I don't know, like, there's still that everyone's just, like, one step away from everybody. Everybody knows each other or what everybody's life's like, no matter race, colour, creed, anything like. So it was just a shock for that to happen, like, and you know that the victims and the type of the target as well, like kids at a concert, and stuff like that. But it's as sad as it is, it was another point where Manchester just showed how we galvanise and how we come together and look after each other and go through this kind of stuff together. It happened in '96 with the bombings. There was no that died in that particular one. But it just always seems to be the way with this city. Like when something like that happens, we find a way to crack on and get through it. But it's crazy. It feels like yesterday.
Yeah, like, because I was like, nah, that's 7 years ago. I'm like, nah. I saw we had that conversation last year, the year before. Like, it's nuts. Like, this time just goes so fast, and it's interesting what you say as well, because I think as a Londoner, I don't think people understand, like, Manchester is a big city. It's a big city, but the way people in Manchester move, the cultures are still connected. Everyone's still connected. It still has that vibe of it has the vibe of like a smaller town, a much smaller place than it actually is. And I feel like, and again, there's no like, you might have different communities, but those communities still jam with each other, still chill with each other. And you don't really get that in London. And that's why I don't think a lot of people in London can really relate to it and understand why it hits so hard.
Yeah, definitely. And I reckon I've noticed that when I go into London, vibes are different. Like, people are still good, nice people, but we're products of our environment, innit? So, but like you say, in Manchester, everyone's in the same clubs, at the same parties, at the same these types of things. So yeah, when something like that happens here, and especially like everyone's powerless, nobody can do anything. It's done. It happens. It's done. We have to try and recover the best way we can recover, and like big for like what Ariana Grande did and did the relief concert and all them kind of things and stuff like that, and support that's amazing and stuff like that. You just hope stuff like that never happens again, or we prepare. Everyone tries to prepare the best they can for things like that. Society at the minute is ever more unpredictable every day. Like
it is crazy. I wanna get into more politics side later on, because I wanna talk about your last album, but I wanna save that. I need to so me and you, we got a secret beef, you don't even know about. So what happened? I'm gonna tell you this story, right? And I've only and you know what's nuts as well? Yeah. I've been telling this story for so long, but I only just figured it out. It's actually your fault why it actually happened. Right? So I got contacted to do a show in Manchester, and I was like, all right, cool, we'll do this. This was a couple like years ago, man. It might be like 10 years ago. So they were like, yeah, do you want to do a show in Manchester? I'm like, yeah, cool, boom, boom. And D12 are performing on that same night. And it was going to be the official after party. And like, it was like, yeah, cool, we're going to come down and do our thing, boom, boom, boom. So planning up until the day, whatever, venue was booked and all that. So then the day, like, or the week up running up to it, the co-promoter hits me up and I was like, we got a big problem. I'm like, what's that? Shotty Horroh's got a night, he's performing that night as well. I was like, you're kidding me.
No.
And like, so we got there, and even you smashed. So there was D12 performing, and then they were coming to our thing, was the after party where I was performing, and they were like, yeah, the D12 thing was dead. Everyone was at Shotty's gig, like smashed it. And then so I get to my one, we get to ours, and it's like, it's dead, but not that dead. Like it's pretty dead, but like, all right, cool. It's like I don't know, 50 people there. All right, cool. We can have a good night, whatever. And so what happened though is I had forgot my CD of music, so I was like, I gotta get a CD burnt. So I've gone to one of the DJs. I was got a CD. By the time I come back here, there's like 5 people left in the club. Everyone had just gone. Right? So by the time I get, Chrissy Lees, he can vouch for this story, So by the time I get on stage, there's 3 people.
Oh man.
And so I'm like, I'm going home, man. And they're like, nah, man, we come to see you. And I'm like, do you know what? I got to perform.
You have to go in for that, even if it's one person.
It was cold, man. So I performed for 3 people, and then madly out of those 3 people, 2 of them started fighting each other, and then it was nuts, bro.
That was the latest thing, though, because you can say, even if I'm causing a fight, no matter what, even if there's only 2 causing a fight in here, bro.
It was so funny, because it was like, at one point I was holding a mic and I've turned around to my wife and she's just looking at me and I'm just looking like, I'm sorry, man. And now I'm just like, you know what? Blame Shotty, man. Shotty. The hometown hero.
Like, I think the city's like advanced and developed a lot more since then as well. Like, as far as the nightlife goes, as far as booking artists like yourself go, awareness with London acts and acts out of the city and shit like that. But I remember, back in the day, it was only a few select people that could fill a venue, and that was off the interactions and stuff that you had done in the years prior to the thing. Now people are just super into the tunes and the music and all that. But I seen the same with Yellow Wolf, bro. Yellow Wolf came to the city and he performed in front of about 10 people at a 500 capacity venue, and he performed like there was 500,000 people. Changed my life, bro.
You gotta respect that.
I was one of the people in the crowd, and this guy put it all on the line, bro. Like, and I was just like, yo, you're the fucking man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It changed my performance level. So I always think, whether it's one person or 1,000 people, got that person paid.
Yeah, man.
And it's good, innit? Because like when you do get back to your stages that you used to of your hundreds and or your thousands, you appreciate it more.
100%, man. We always say like if the show's dead, look over at my DJ Terry, like, yo, practice, yeah, rehearsal, yeah, cool, boom, and we just go in, man. And I think sometimes as well, it's like it takes the pressure off, and also as well, do you know what I like as well? It's that humbling experiences, like you say. Then you really appreciate the Wembleys and all those other ones. It's like, all right, yep, I deserve this because I done 3 people, so I deserve the 10,000. You know what I mean?
Like when I was on tour in Canada recently, we did all the smaller towns. We did like we drove from Toronto to Vancouver, British Columbia, and that's like the width of the country. That's like 7 days worth of driving, whatever it was. And we performed in all the little towns, so you would just get like total. You didn't know what you was walking into even. So one night I would walk into a venue in a super small, back like country town in Canada somewhere, and it's rammed crazy. 500 people, they know every word.
Crazy.
The next day I go to a next town. There's 2 people sat at a bar drinking, and I'm like, yo, we were just. Last night, what the fuck? I had to get used to it and all that, like some crazy little weird nights out there like that.
Except some of my most fun. Actually, some of my most fun nights have been in Manchester. We're actually talking the other day, interviewing my boy Amos, and one of my favorite nights was at HipHopUKtv in Manchester. That was just crazy, man. And I get, it's like it wasn't actually that night was pretty packed. It was like it's always been fun. I've got a lot of links with Manchester. Manchester is one of those places, that for some reason the talent level just seems a little higher than everywhere else. Like the level just seems a little bit. It's a bit weird. Like you look at like Children of Zeus. Yeah. You look at yourself. To be fair, we could mention a whole bunch of artists. Bugsy. Like this goes on.
Yeah.
Do you feel that competitive edge, and where does that come from?
I feel like Manchester is like ultimately, as far as it's strange because as much as we're as a community of people, as Mancunians, and like we were saying before, we take everyone in, everyone loves each other, this and that, and we're great and all this kind of shit. As far as music goes and artists goes, we're so separated. And it's not because of hate or anything like that. I don't know what it is, but I could not really say, oh, that's a movement, and point to a movement in the city which is something that I've always respected with London when I was growing up watching the grime shit and all that. All them like the East London guys had that movement going. Of guys, everyone had their movements going and had a hierarchy which contributed to grime and stuff like that. Manchester's not really like that. You just have to be fucking dope, lit, better than the next guy, and that's the way it's always been. And then I look at like you have in every city you have gatekeeper-ish guys, or guys who innovated
a sound or scene. Yeah.
Our accent sounds good with this pattern or whatever, and just inspired guys. Our city had a lot of guys early on who just happened to be, for each genre, a high bar. Like for rap, Tyler Daly was a high bar. So when you was coming up 12, 13, 14, whatever, and you want to rap, everyone's like, yeah, but have you heard Tyler Daly, bro? Come on, bro. You're not impressing no one when Tyler's just been around the city barring. Yeah. So then you're like, oh, but I have to be like that. What does he listen to? Who's he into and shit? So you're listening to certain styles and shit. And then like, grime, there was Hypes and all these types of guys. Yeah. So there's been someone shifty. There's always been someone for the kids to go, yo, boom, that's how we're gonna do it. And I think all of our guys just happen to have been lyrical guys.
Right.
To now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, because that's another thing as well. Because I always found there's a lot of underground guys from Manchester. Guys like Rapper Crimes, Ayatollah, who are like, so proper underground that people might not know, yeah. But like, if you hear them, you're just like, nah, wait, like, you lot are just this is like a hobby for you. Lot. You lot just this is what you lot just do, and it's again the bar of like what we call being a lyrical rapper. It just blows me away, man. I'm just like, this is nuts.
Yeah, bro, and it's almost like everyone's brother and that's just like that, and not even into it and shit. Like, don't even be sat with the guys and someone who's a plumber or someone who's not even into it, but who's been around it forever. That oh, you should say this, and I'm like, that would be better than what most guys would say. Why do you never? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's just fully involved and been put up and brought up on that. You know what I mean? But I feel like the same with Birmingham and stuff like that. When I go to Birmingham, assassin rappers, assassins, I put it down to it's stylistic. I think maybe that style appeals to like me and you more, multisyllabics, all these types of stuff. And I reckon we took hold of that back in the day because of the guys Tyler and stuff like that. And London, they had this amazing, they invented a genre. Which changed the culture of the UK and stuff like that with grime. So everybody in London was like focusing on that, and then with that comes great hooks, great flows, great patterns, sick marketability, and was advanced in so many other ways from the Manchester scene where we literally thought all you have to do is rhyme 9 million words in one line. Like, we don't, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
How did you even get into to rapping and to being a hip hop artist? Like, what came first? Because obviously we're gonna talk about the battling stuff, but I'm guessing you were doing music first, then switching into battling. But what was the journey like into that?
Music first, just being around it. Like, I think I was into hip hop weirdly from being really young, because my big brother, my big cousins, I would hear them listening to swearing music, which was like, what the fuck was going on? And I remember Cypress Hill. They was listening to Cypress Hill and Tupac. This was like 95, 94. And my nana was called Sil. So when they said Cypress Hill, I thought they were Cypress Hill. And because my man had a high voice, I thought it was a woman. I remember being that young.
That's crazy.
And they told me, don't tell your mum that you're listening to this. Anyway, I went back straight away. Oh, I've been listening to this woman called Sil. She says this, that, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so that, I remember being like that. The first thing I heard like that swearing music was Prince. That, you sexy motherfucker.
Yeah.
That was, I was, oh shit, music's better than wrestling. This is crazy. And then, so that caught my ear. But then I remember I must have rapped one point, and I was the cool kid in the room for a few hours. You know, when you get all the, oh, whoa, like, yo, that's dope. Like, everyone likes you now. Like, that's lit. Like, and I was like, oh, fuck, boom. Chase that.
Sick.
That social hierarchy shit. Like, I want that, bam. So, yeah. But for me, as soon as when I was listening to hip-hop, everyone was really good at rapping.
Right.
And it was just a journey for me, like, oh, what fucking this album, that guy, that guy, and then I was just into it, trying to copy, trying to perfect it, trying to figure out. I always had a fascination with Big Pun. Okay. The way Big Pun, he sounded like a drum. He sounded like a really sick drummer where like the A, E, I, O, U sounds, I imagine them as different pieces of the drum kit, and he'd be like A, E, E, in patterns that was like, if do you know what I mean? It was almost visual, the patterns, and I used to think, wow. Then when I heard Eminem, didn't know Eminem was white. Same. I listened to him and was like, yo, he sounds like Big Pun. This is crazy. And a visual thing with the pictures, whatnot. And then that's when I was like, yo, I'm allowed to do it now. Because there was I used to get like, people used to take, like, make jokes and shit like that. Because them times, like, you know, I'm 33 now. Them times I was racking white on the estate. Like, all right, Vanilla Ice. So in songs, I was like, that's funny, man, because that is actually true. But so long has gone since then, it's not strange anymore. Like, I remember then it was like a bit weird, and then you know, and I was like, all right, see, do me shit, boom, 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 just loved it, bro. Like I spend every penny, every day, every minute, just hip hop, just rap music, all it's like the culture, the history, the new guys, the old guys, and just trying to be the better than all of them.
Yeah.
Just like, I can do that shit. Do you know what I mean?
So, but I always thought there's a massive gap between making music and battling.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like battlers have a different mentality about what they do and how they approach it. So when do you decide, or how do you get into, I'm battling, I'm going for taking off man's heads now, face to face?
I think it was the way, like I say, the people who inspired me as far as rappers go was visual style, like the way they explained, the way they rapped. I could see these full videos, these full pictures and movies playing out in my head through these rappers. And then that's the way I wanted to rap. And then I felt battle rap was the same. When I started to see battle rap, it was like, oh wow, like this is the max. This is the other end of the scale of trying to create visual pictures and scenarios without no crutch. Like the producer isn't helping me. Like it's on my own. The art of rap, the art of learning everything I learned. Like this is it, to the point where I have to make the cadence rhythmic, so it's like a drum, to create the illusion of even there's a beat under me, because there's no. I need to be able to. And then I was just like, I was fascinated with that, in a sense that, like, you know, that's just two of me loves mixed. That's like acting and rapping mixed, and then you have to go through all this suspenseful timing, comedic timing, positioning of the body and eye contact, all this kind of shit. It just, I was like, yeah, man, this is something I could definitely get my teeth into. And I remember, I think the same, I don't know, was it Chronicle who you was talking about before, the promoter? Was it not?
Was it Chronicle? It might have been. Nah, so, it wasn't. Nah.
What really sparked it off with me? So I used to battle and watch URL. Yeah, I used to like battle in the street. There's videos of me on YouTube doing like full crews when I'm 15.
Yeah.
And my punchlines was crazy in that, because Cassidy was my idol and shit. So I was going in and shit. Years later, I remember I had this apartment in Moston, and I'm sat there with Chronicle and that. And we're watching battle rap, watching Disaster and shit. These times I'm doing my mixtapes, making my music. And you know in yourself, when you know, even though you've not done something, you know what you're capable of. Yeah. Like, I know when I'm shooting my shot too high, I know, but when I'm genuinely being like honest, like I'm saying we're watching these battles and I'm saying to people, I could do this, you know. And then, nah, not at all. And then, I don't know, I was watching the Disaster shit, and I'm watching him and I was like, seeing how dope he was and shit, but I was thinking, what he's doing wouldn't phase me so much. I was just like, fucking, I didn't know too much at the time, but I was just like, I'd beat him, yo. Yeah. And then it was like, nah, you wouldn't even be able to beat an average. It's different. You wouldn't be able to beat an average guy in this. Like, it's different. I was like, all right, say nothing. I had people contact Disaster and all that. I took my little road money, what I was doing there. We fucking set up a whole event, flew Disaster, Bend all them out. My first ever battle. I battled it. Supposedly won 3-0 and that, like, and then went back to Chronicle. He was working with Don't Flop, and I said, right, now start me from the bottom in Don't Flop. I don't want no handouts, nothing. Yeah. Start from the bottom. And for me, it just felt like Street Fighter. Yeah. You know, like, bam. I was just sick, like, I was loving it. Felt like Ryu.
See, this is the thing, yeah? So, because I always look at battle rap, like, I see it as like musical theatre, yeah? So, and it's also, it's funny that you mentioned the wrestling angle, because the wrestling angle is deep in it, because wrestling is the same thing. It's performance based, and I always feel like, as far as UK battle rappers, the bit that sets us apart from the Americans is the Americans always have a better performance. So you were the first person that I saw bringing that element of the theatrics. So I spoke to who's I talking to? Inja, and we're talking about the dancehall clashes, yeah. And the thing about the dancehall clashes was the theatrics. It's like, cool, everyone's got bars, everyone's can do, but it's like, it's the little bits in between that just make it up. And that's like where I always felt, Spice,
boom, she would say 1, 2 things, whole thing's done. Or like, that Sting was something I used to watch all the time as well. Like when I was watching battles and stuff as a kid, I stumbled across Sting,
right,
which was like just this whole other world for me, which to me, I was like, oh, this is where grime came from. This is the pull up.
Yep.
But Sting taught me how to get the job done in the first 4 bars.
See.
The first line, get the job done. Go in there, because that's what I noticed with all them. They would only have to say 1 or 2 things, and it's boom, crowds going crazy. They're singing that for a while, which is why I always wanted a big catchphrase at the beginning of my shit. But no, definitely the same type of shit, man.
It's crazy you say that, man, because it's like now when you put it that way, it's like, okay, cool, coming out with your phrase, it makes perfect sense because you're hitting them from the get go, and you've already got. I always feel as well, like as soon as people start reciting your lyrics, you're winning, and you've already got the crowd on your side,
locked in.
Yeah, like it's mad. I think the first time I met you proper was at the Arsenal battle.
Yeah,
and I remember just like, obviously I've been watching you as well. Obviously we spoke like online or whatever, but up until that point I hadn't really like proper met you. And one thing I remember, is this was before the battle, right? So you come up to me like, yo, we saying, man, you good, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, how are you so calm before the battle? Like, I was just like, that's crazy. Because I know what I'm like, my wife will tell you, before a show, I don't really, don't talk to me too much because I'm just I'm in my zone, and I'm just like, I don't know how things are gonna go, so I'm not too happy straight away. And then after the show, I'm all smiles. But you were just like, yo, what's going on? Like, you were just ready to go, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. And you have to remember as well, at the time, I was like, for me at the time, Arsenal was like, no one's really touching him. I feel like that was probably, to me actually, that's probably my favourite battle of his. And I was just like, this is this is crazy. And you were just like, yeah, cool. So
it's just evolved as well to next level, like top level bad man Arsenal as well. He was always sick Fight Club Arsenal, but I caught him just as he went into the main guy in the world, and like, fuck, crazy. And I seen the growth, the booking happen. I seen the growth up in the first battles leading up towards our battle. And I was like, this is this is gonna be crazy.
What was your mindset going into that?
Like you say, I was super chilled. I always feel like every battle, everything that we go through in life is won in the preparation. Like, it's up to God then. Like, you have to just go and do what you're gonna do better than anybody does that. Nobody can do you that way, but you have to prepare like nothing, like super prepared, to the point where if you was to say to me at that point, right, Arsenal round 3 right now, I'd be like, boom, boom, I would have been in.
Yeah.
That's it. Wait, full mode. And I was the only guy, I think I was the only guy, or even to this day in the UK, that respected the game so much that I gave every minute of me thoughts, not even just my life, my thoughts to how do I make this performance better and unbeatable. And I took it so serious. All the other lads, enough respect to them, they all get drunk at the place and all have fun, and it's all and they'll tell you there's a disconnect with me and them, because when it comes to them shits, I'm always the guy that's like really serious about it. I'm in the corner like Dolph Lundgren over there, like that's it. You can't really have the banter with shots at the events like that, because I'm like, yo, these people are paid to see innovative shit. Like, it ain't a hobby to me like that. I have to just be great. So every battle I'm battling the last me, really, I'm like, yo, I have to be better than that last. So that just makes me leading up to a battle, there's no sleep. Right. There's no PlayStation. nothing. There's no linking. There's no. I'll link people and constantly get, bro. Are you listening? Are you listening, bro?
No, I'm reciting.
Yo, sorry, bro. Like I'm just I got to the point in battle rap. I'm like, I can be holding a conversation with someone, but fully going all the way around.
Yep, I know that feeling.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I got to the point where I was like, but then I guess I got a bit disenchanted with it when I realized it wasn't it. No matter what people say, it's a popularity sport. It isn't a sport where if I put my 10,000 hours in and I have the ability to knock this man out, I'll knock him out. If I train more than him, I will. But imagine you do that and knock the man out, but the crowd go, well, no, I like him more, so you're knocked out. Boom. Yeah. And that's what I felt like I was going into a brick wall a lot of the times and stuff where I was putting, because my audience in battle rap, I wasn't the domestic British battler. I was the guy that battled the Americans for us. Yeah. So my audience was American. Yeah. So and Canadian, and then they had more of an issue with the accent. Right. They would just a lot of them would just shut off straight away as soon as we start. They just shut off straight away, and it got kind of disheartening after a bit, trying to write these groundbreaking innovative things, and then you get someone else coming along talking about whatever else shit, and I was like, do you know what? And I go take a break.
It's funny though, because I always feel like the battlers respect you crazy. So there's no battler in the world that ain't gonna mention your name, and it's I you know what, man, like me, I'm a fan, I'm a battle rap fan. So like whenever your name gets brought up in a battle, I'm like, oh like, you know what I mean, like big the top guys, and it's like, yeah, you're right there, you're right there, and you deserve to be there. But you are right, it is about personalities, there's a lot of politics involved, and
so much.
It's got, I guess, the politics in battle rap has only just increased and intensified as it's grown.
Yeah, and it's one of them as well. Like, I understand, like, you can't be the best boxer in the world unless you're fighting in Vegas for the titles. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, as much as I wanted to be known as the best in the world or whatever, I wasn't in fucking New York on URL. Yeah. I went to New Jersey. I did the UW battle against Daylight and stuff like that. But I had loads of offers to go to URL as well, many times. Murder Moot had tweeted, "Oh, if I do one more thing in my life, I have to battle Shotty Horroh." Loaded Lux was asking for the battle. Jeez. Me and Lux was 30%, not 30%. Me and Lux was like 90% done. 30 grand fee for Lux. Money was there. Fucking politics. See. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't have like certain things. So I just felt like I wasn't ever gonna go back really like that till I made my own company and that, and then so a battle on your own show, and
that's like because I feel like that's like a really big step. Like I feel like a lot of people have tried that. You did it in a way that not only did you come through with it, but I think the aesthetics of it. Like I always feel like, all right, cool. There's a lot of other people that try to do their own platforms. Cool, that's all good. But I feel like you kind of had all the parts it needed. Like it had you, so cool. You got the name. Boom, boom, boom. But again, just like how it looked and the battlers that you managed to bring in and the respect it got, it's almost like a kind of like a perfect storm, man. Well, obviously no one else could have done it because otherwise it would have been done already. But how much of a change was that from going from battling to starting your own league, and how much more sleep did you lose trying to put that together?
Way more sleep, but you know what? Yeah, if it's not for Briggsy, it wouldn't happen. Right. That guy, he is the machine behind it. He's the brains behind it. He's everything. We have conversations. I'll get on the phone with him. We have these spitball conversations, these creative conversations, and he goes and executes everything. And not only that, he edits it himself. He does Crazy. All of this himself. Like, and because he worked for Don't Flop, he worked for these other companies, he knows how it works. And like we've mentioned it a few times, like with me, I know the confrontation entertainment game, like we was talking about before, wrestling, battle rap, MMA. That's all under the confrontation sport, and that involves two people face to face in conflict, and some Don King, me, like that, fight, and no game like a motherfucker. So I was like, right, we need to have something different. We need a gimmick which is gonna set us apart. And URL, that they're the innovative ones. They're the ones that did a lot of their shit. They're gangbanging, cool fucking shit from America. That's one confrontational shit. People know about that shit. That lane's took. King of the Dot, intricate, sciencey, more comedic punchline stuff. You know what I mean? That lane's took. So I'm sat there thinking, like, what do we as British people? What is our culture? What's special about us? We've been there for so long. And then one day I was at a City game and I'm just looking at this crazy partisan tribe going off in the colours, and I'm like looking at these people like these will die for each other, and that this is like an army. It only takes Pep to say we're marching on Parliament, and in that moment, if it's 6-1 or whatever, and Pep says we're fucking marching on Parliament, get your guns. Sorry, I'm a law-abiding citizen, but I'm grabbing my shit and marching on Parliament. And I was thinking, yo, that's magic, that's crazy. And then I was like, we could scale that down a lot and create that tribal thing with the chants, the scarves, the team-based element, and just because we was doing a lot of our shows in what are glorified pubs, so instead of trying to hide the aesthetic, let's embrace the aesthetic. This is there's a bald white guys in a pub with a beer, let's have them singing, oh, no, no, no. Because to the American, they're like, oh my god, that's like Green Street hooligans, man. And they love it, and it did work quite well. The problem with that was, no disrespect to what was going on, there wasn't enough talent in the pool in the UK that was willing to do it and get behind the journey. All the guys who they call the GOATs, we had all left. Everyone's chasing music, the stand-up comedy, whatever everyone was doing, everyone got off. So you're left with this new generation of guys who sadly didn't have big battles. There weren't a budget there to book Art versus Gemini or whatever it was, or they didn't have the boom like we had. And then their generation was kind of skipped, gone by quick, and then there's this new generation that they didn't have the slightest idea how to sell it or whatever, or what it means to eat thin air for a few years. Everyone's coming at me like, how much am I getting paid? Fucking nothing for 15 plus years, bro. And you fucking enjoy it, man, because that's what we did.
It's funny you say that as well, because yesterday we were talking about sacrifice, and like you've been doing this for a long time, and you can look at the accolades and be like, yo, you got this, you done this, but again, there's a lot of sacrifice that's led up to those moments, and I don't think that's the problem. Whenever you're dealing with people who come up to you, they want to get on the level that you're at right now, and like, yo, you're here, so you know what I mean, I should be here too, right? And you're like, nah, like it don't even work that way. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And there's a long.
It's weird to say it back to them, but it feels weird to pull them up on it, because then you start feeling like, wait, am I an egotist? Is he right? Do I think I'm so? It's like, no, man, you really put in your 10 million hours. And then, like, how do if someone just assumes that straight away, they really can't respect what we do. No, you can't respect it.
I don't. But again, I think that's part of it though, because I feel like, again, especially when you talk about music, because you do see certain guys come in the game real quick and get to a high level real quick, right? So a lot of people just kind of feel like, oh, that's what's up, and they don't understand that the majority of people are really been grinding to get to a certain place the whole time and expecting. I think the biggest killer for me is always like the bringing. Yo, man, bring me in, man. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, do you like? I want to, but it's
Yeah.
the way it's not set up that way. It doesn't work that way. And I always say it like it's like say Conor McGregor's got a mate and he's a fighter and he's like, yo, let me fight you, man. Like I want you to get that payday, but that's just not how things work, bro.
People almost resent it, man. You can't force something down people's throat. They understand straight away.
Yep.
You look at every great, I don't even know any great that brought their boy out and the boy got where he should have gone.
No.
You know what I mean? You can go to AZ with Nas, he didn't do it. Like Proof, rest in peace, didn't do it. Like Yayo didn't do it. You just keep going. Memphis Bleak didn't do it. And it's just not because they wasn't marketable, not because they didn't sound good, not because they didn't have the story, not because they wasn't able to engage the audience. Because I felt like, yo, you're trying to tell me what's next. Like, you're trying to push that. Not like that's no, man. But whereas people who are just like, you know, you like, you see the way Odd Future did it and stuff.
Yeah. You
listening to Tyler, and it's like, who's this guy that keeps hanging about with Tyler? And it's like, oh, he's pretty funny. Yeah, like, I mean, oh, he's all right. Yeah. And like, sweatshirt, and then all of a sudden, sweatshirt's got this because it's got to be organic, and the only way again it can be organic is you put your 10,000 hours in now. You know Genesis Elijah now. This connection and this shit's gonna happen frequently throughout this long journey in life.
Yeah.
Do your shit, I'll do my shit. Yeah. It's gonna cross over. It's gonna be natural. The people are gonna love it. Yeah. People that want to come in and force it and try and get everything, they're the people that will change. That something will happen or fall out of love with it in a few weeks, and they waste a lot of people's time, money, and investment in like be living on a whim. Oh yeah, I want to be a musician. Come back in 5-10 years, eat nothing, go and move away from your family for years, live on the road, get broke down in a little hick town in the middle of fucking wherever, and wait for this guy to come get all these promoters over and over and over again. Yeah, the check's in the mail. Do that, and then if you sit there again till 3 a.m, 4 or 5, 6 a.m, with your belly rumbling, with nothing in the house, trying to finish that song, then
it might be for you. It might be. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Earl Sweatshirt because he's actually my top 10, man. Like I proper like I'm a super Earl Sweatshirt fan, and the maddest part of it is when I met him I wasn't a fan, so I wasn't like oh my god. When I met him I was just like, who's this guy? And I was like, he's alright. And you know what's funny? I heard his music at a festival, so it didn't really hit the way it's supposed to hit. And then I listened to it properly, and I was just like, oh my days! Like,
this is the thing as well. Like, a lot of people, there's this whole movement of hip hop's dead. All these young trappy kids are killing it and all that. And I always want to say to people, you people are killing hip hop by saying that type of shit, because, like you say, them guys are fucking out there, man. Genesis Elijah's out there. I'm out there. Earl Sweatshirt's out there. These amazing lyricists and rappers are out there, and to be honest, if you give them half a chance, they're probably better than the people we revere from the past, because they had the guys from the past to learn from.
Yeah.
But the people would rather listen to chart music and the first thing that's out, whatever, but then cuss it out and like be like, oh well, I don't really want to go dig in the crates and look for nothing. It's because you're lazy, and that's not what it is. So like, either just like enjoy the music that you're willing to search for, or you would, because finding music's a journey, innit? Yeah. It always was. I remember like back in the day having to go to shops to get Let's Get Free Dead Prez albums.
Yep.
But this album I had to go and find it in certain shops, and I had it. But yo, I'm gonna be the one telling you, man, what's on this shit, and you know what I mean? Like that was the whole thing. It ain't really like that no more. But then people will be quick to say, yo, hip hop's dead and all that, and it's like, yo, bro, fucking Jada's still here, Craft's here, all these guys are still here. Give it, like, you know, enjoy it while people are around and keep that culture going, because depend on certain countries, you know, in the States they might be like, oh, Jada's washed, but you go Sweden or something,
crazy,
Jada's selling out like big spots and stuff like that.
Crazy. Yeah,
shit's up there for everyone and all that, man. I think people need to search more.
But you're a music lover though, because you're I class you as a multi-genre artist,
100%.
because you do different. And I was going through your discography today. Like, I went from Zombie Zoo, went all the way up to Sword of Earth. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Yeah, because that album. Yeah, I messaged you, and I was just like, yo, this is that to me. This is the one, because I'm such a big I'm a big Arctic Monkeys fan, innit, right? And so they used to have a sound that I used to just love. And actually it's actually funny. The time I rinsed Arctic Monkeys was when I was staying in Manchester. Like, I had a time I was in Manchester. I think I was there for like a week.
Like the soundtrack.
It was sound like literally. So when I think of them, I think of Manchester. Like, it just goes straight there, even though I'm not from there. But anyway. But so when I first heard the album, heard the single first, and then heard the album, listened to it once through, and was just like, this is it, man. Like, this is it on various levels. Like, obviously, I love the sound, I love the fact you were doing it, and I love the fact that it's a sound. It's like one of the ones I'm like, I wish I made this album, man. Like, I wish I made it, and like I want to, and I might still try and do something like that. But I was just like, I was so glad that you did it, and you represented for where you're from, and it just felt like it's a soundtrack. It's just like, I'm there, like
again, like what we were to do before. I feel like if you're getting involved in any culture, expressing yourself or anything like that, you always have to bring something to the table. You can't just jump in and do what they're doing and try and take a plate away from people. Bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Don't make the same shit they're making. Do your twist, do your thing. And I was like, yo, I was always thinking, before hip hop over here, really, rock and roll was our hip hop. Our cool bastards was Liam Gallagher's and all these, where, middle finger to society, fuck the charts, fuck all that. And I feel like them two cultures are so similar. As far as like a rapper's attitude and a rock star's attitude, 100%. and I was just like, yo, I've always been a child of all of these musics, all of these things, and I feel like music it's just a soundtrack to how you feel and what you need to express, and I'm human in it, so I'm not gonna feel the same way in the summer as I do in the winter, and because it's just human nature with seasonal creatures. And I made that album just after the bombings.
See,
like, so all this shit had happened where I was so far away, I was missing Manchester. I'm one of them people that the further away I go and the longer I'm away, the more mank I get.
Right.
It's like I was walking around Toronto like, fucking have it, fucking party. Got home, my mum's like, why are you talking like that? So why am I talking like what? What you're on about? What are you doing? Chill out, I'm from Manchester. To calm it down. But when the bombs happened, all this type of shit, I was just like, that was the mood I was in. I was like, the government, man, and just this, and like the barrier that it created between people, and all these things, this fucking domino effect that causes this shit like that. Like, there's people say, there's no one to blame. There's everyone to blame.
Yeah.
Everything to blame, and there's everyone had a hand in all that kind of shit. And where the fuck did it? All that, and I think only when times are like that, does true hip hop and rock and roll come out.
Yeah.
Much as I love these kids' music and all that, there was not much. You haven't been through much as a globe, as a planet at the times of these kids who were born in 99, 2002. Yeah. You haven't been really through shit. There's not really moments where up until this pandemic, where the planet or the people have had to galvanize and shit like that, and like say fuck the government or be so depressed or oppressed that the music calls for that, because past few decades everyone's just been in the club.
Yeah.
I mean, so
How long did it take
I
you to put that album together? Like, what was the time frame?
I'd say to to explain that, I'd have to explain how it happened. I was in Canada and I was doing a voiceover for a cartoon.
Right.
I'd never sang a lick in my life. I didn't know about singing, didn't know how to sing, whatever. I sing in the shower, yeah. Everyone thinks you sound good in the shower, so that's all right, whatever. This character I was voicing over in the cartoon, funnily enough, was a wrestler,
Right.
and he gets fired for not doing enough steroids. And he has this moment where he's walking home and he sings this ballad, and at the end of the ballad, he hits a note. So I'm in recording. I get to this bit I was nervous about, and I sing and I hit the note, but my voice was fully vibrato in and like I stopped the fucking track. Everyone was like, "What?" And I was like, "Nah, what the fuck just happened?" They're like, "Yo, do the scale." And then we went through the scale, and I was hitting pretty much every note. And I was like, "Yo, wait, hang about. I've been in the game for like 15 plus years, and I've never tried this. This is crazy." So they was like, what songs do you know and stuff? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know much songs. Later on in the day, while I was making tea or doing whatever I was doing, I was just singing "Love Me Do" by the Beatles. So my friends like, come here. And we started singing "Love Me Do" by the Beatles, by the thingy, and he was like, "Yo, do you know any more rock and roll songs?" I started singing shit, but I was learning. I was like, "Oh shit, I sound like my man." Or what?
That's crazy.
This happened. So we literally, we recorded one song. Me, Jules, and Lucius was there, and I didn't know Lucius too well. And we recorded this one song. I've gone to stay where I was staying in Toronto. And I listened to this song fucking hundreds of times in the night, yeah. And I remember feeling like I felt when I recorded my first rap song. I know, yo, this is fucking sick. But it was indie rock and roll, and I'm Shotty Horroh, dude, and I didn't know what to do. My head's battered now. I'm like, I really want to explore this, but I'm the battle rap guy. Like, no one's buy this. I thought, oh, fuck. I show it to my ex, a girl I was with at the time. She was like, the fuck is this? I was like, it's me. She was blown away by it. That song, we never actually finished that one, because the next day I hit the guys up and I was like, yo, I kind of want to do that again today. I kind of want to make indie rock. Well, these guys was like, oh, thank fuck for that. Trying to figure out how to break it to you, like, we need to do that. I'm like, oh, sick. Let's go and do it. Let's go and have a day. We have a day, just me and and Jules. Jules plays every instrument. He was like one of the co-writers and stuff. We just had a day, me and him, where we just wrote riffs and sang bits. Lucius come round in the evening. We was putting drums on shit. I say we had about fucking 15 songs, bro, and it was just getting better and better and better and better because I was learning how to do this thing. Yeah. A couple of weeks later, Lucius phones me and he's like, "Yo, bro, I've gotta confess, bro." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yo, I took the MP3s off the computer." I'm like, "Oh shit." And he's like, "And yesterday I had a meeting with Sony about some other shit." I'm like, "All right, sounds good." He's like, "Yo, so while I'm playing them your shit, while I'm playing them their shit, and I'm playing them Afro beats, I'm playing them six like Toronto hip hop, like that type of shit. I'm playing them this shit, and they just looked not happy, just not like ready to get this meeting over with." And he's saying, "I skip, and for some reason, 1 or 2 seconds of shoe, they'll come through. Oh, right," and then he skipped it, and then the guy's gone, "Wait, what was that? Bring that back." Bear in mind, sign up in Sony Canada that said no guitar music. Like, the A&R's got told music, we're not buying no more guitar music. But this A&R, Joe Ferrari, he's heard this little bit of a tune, and he's gone, "Yo, what's that? Play that back." So Lucius has played it in, and bear in mind, it's the scratch demos. They sound pretty bad. Joe Ferrari told me, he said, "Yo, his hair's gone up on the back of his neck. He's listening to this shit. He's called up for shit. I forgot which one he called up for. He called up for one of the other guys anyway. The other guys come down, been like, 'Yo, yeah, this is sick, this, rare, whatever.' but you know we're not allowed to sign guitar music type of shit. Boom. They said, yo, let's just put it in the little package and let's show my man, the main Shane, the CEO. So boom, they take it to this little package when they have their week or whatever at the end of the week. All the A&Rs and that show the guy, the main guy, the shit they're into. They're like, yo, boom. And so Big C is like, Big C's the main A&R. Big C, by this time he's heard it, he loved it. Big C's like, dropped this shit on it. He's played it. The guy's gone, yo. He's heard the thing straight away. He's heard my voice. He's gone, what's this? This is he's a battle rapper. He's battled for Drake and all this. He's a battle rapper. He's skipped it to a bit of a rap, and he's gone, get me a picture up. Get me a picture. He said the guy's gone, right, yeah, that's the meeting done. Give him whatever he wants. And walked off. Yo, crazy. But like literally overnight, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so 15+ years of doing everything I can do to try and get in the door. This little joke project we do on a whim falls into the lap of these huge A&Rs. And so, yeah, there was like, yo, sign him. So then Sony contacts us and they're like, bear in mind, it's just me and Jules that have made this in a basement on a little basic setup. So Sony are like, yo, we're in town. We want to see the band perform. So Jules is like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do that. Puts the phone down. Bro, we ain't got a band. What the fuck we gonna... It's like a bill. I couldn't believe it. He's like, yo, they're going to be here 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. We ain't got a band. We ain't got a place to play. We ain't got nothing. We got to get this sorted and get back to them.
Jeez.
So luckily, one of the guys that had come in on the project on the scratch demos and was helping us, Jesse was he was staying at this place where it was a big fucking huge Canadian house in Forest Hills, like where Drake's fucking from, like big beautiful house, but it was getting demolished in a few months. But they had this dope basement, so we just pieced the band together. Jesse's friend, who was a drummer, came, and then this guy came. We just got in there from like all night the night before, learned all these songs. And I remember being fucked up because my whole career, I'm holding the mic.
Yeah.
And then like now, I'm like, who the fuck am I? What am I doing? Like, where do my hands go? I do a dance now. I'm like Millie rocking and shit to fucking Indian. They're like, yo, don't do that. Like, yo, my head is upside down. And I'm like, yo, there's this fucking label on the way, man. Like 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know when you say it'll be all right on the night?
Yeah.
Just that.
Shit.
People is like, when I'm in the atmosphere, when I'm in that moment, I do just disregard Adam, and I'm like Shotty, and I'm gonna get it done better than anyone. That's the way I feel. And I'm just like, as soon as it started, I just performed like how I would want my favorite rock and roll star to perform. And then I'm performing, I see one of these A&Rs chin wobbling like he's crying and that, like he's about to cry. And he's nudging the other one like that, and I'm thinking, got you bastard. So yeah, done like that. Then he just come up and he went, "What do you want? We'll set whatever you want. We'll sign you."
Sick.
I'm like,
that's so sick, man.
A better one than that though, was I remember, I got in my bag a bit too much on my first showcase for Sony. It was me and this girl called Lay, and we was performing. What they did was they hired out this place, the Drake Hotel, which is like this super dope lit spot in Toronto where everyone goes. They hired it out days before, and they just put one email out. They said, and it was to all the top like fucking A&Rs and that in North America. They said, 2 days ago we signed Shotty Horroh. He's doing rock and roll. On this day he's going to be performing at the Drake. Are you coming? That was it.
Raw.
So I'm like, nah, he's going to be dead. I'm going to be like 3 people. I'm going to be like, hey, fucking, all right, Dave. Bro, it was wall to fucking wall. All these like Gucci'd out fucking martinis and all that. Like, oh my God, Charles, I was shit, bro. The owner of Sony Canada's come up to me and he's like, that's this guy, that's this guy, that's that guy. The aim tonight is to get to sign with an agency.
Right.
We need to you an agent for performance. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, so you got to perform. Crazy. They had they had the logo in lights and everything. It was so crazy. And he goes, you see that guy at the back? There's this big dude. He's like, see that guy? That's Feldman. He's the head of Feldman Agency.
Jeez.
He's the one we want, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking, fuck. These guys are going to get you everywhere you want to go. And so anyway, once we finish the show, I smash the show, come off the stage, everyone's pulling you. This agency want to speak to you. This guy wants to speak to you. This man wants to speak to you. This super sick artist from fucking wherever wants to do. Like,
I think we lost him again. I was so getting into that. I was like, I'm like, wait, what happens next, man? What happens next? I'm gonna get Shotty back. Don't worry. That's crazy, man. Let me just find my Skype button. There we go. This is like, it's for those who, I'm guessing all of you have heard the album, but to hear how the album came about, it's like DVD extras. It's like behind the scenes footage. It's crazy. Let me try and get him back. We're just gonna, we're getting back. Guys, please keep hitting that share button. Please keep hitting that subscribe button. And just let people know what we're doing, man. Like, these interviews are just incredible. And getting to kind of hear backstories of some of my favorite projects from my favorite artists is amazing. We're going back. We got you back, bro.
I didn't do anything that time as well.
It just
I'm
went.
I'm worried about this Mac. I got 2 new Macs. That's twice it's cut out.
Jeez. So yeah, wait. We're up to the stuff you getting pulled from pillar to post. They're grabbing you.
Yeah, that was the guy Feldman over there. So I'm doing my shit, and I've got good peripheral vision, and I'm very aware. You know where we're from, and that you have to be. I'm in the party. People are talking to me, and I'm seeing this Feldman and his little team edge the way over.
Right.
I clock now, boom. I really want to speak to this guy, and I really need this guy to see my personality and stuff like that. So as I clock them coming over and that, I leave, bro. I'm going out to the smoking area for my zoot, bro. Got a zoot in my pocket. So I go out, and when I go out, there's bare more people. So I start blazing my zoot, talking to these people. I see this Feldman coming out, and the people who are handling me for Sony are like talking to him like as if to say, 1 minute, he'll be ready in a minute, we'll speak in a minute. So anyway, I'm outside, this guy comes over to me. By the time he comes over to me, I've nearly finished my zoot. Comes over and he's like smiling, and his little team are introduced. Going, all right, this is the higher Shotty or something. And as they're trying to introduce me, this guy's wanted to cut the bullshit and just be like mates. He's come in, he's gone, how's it going? And I've just gone, oh yeah, who the fuck are you then? My heart was like this. I was like, yo, I fucking dropped the zoot right at his feet. Bam. Who the fuck are you then? He's like, oh, I'm Summit Feldman, the Feldman agency. And I went, good to meet you. I said his name, whatever. Yeah. Good to meet you. Bam. Shook his hand and walked off. I'm walking away from it. I'm like, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. Because I'd had a beard and that, yeah. But I always remember that's how Ian Curtis got signed.
See.
He wrote Joy Division, you cunt, on a piece of paper. Slapped it on my man's table. Boom, slid it to him. Tony Wilson from Factory Records. So I wore this today. This is the Man City shirt, which is the tribute to Hacienda Factory Records and shit like that. But obviously for the 22 as well.
Yeah. But
yeah, Tony Wilson. He was the man and shit. He was always ignoring Joy Division. He was always ignoring Ian Curtis and shit like that. and he was watching bands one night, and Ian Curtis stormed into the place, wrote "Joy Division, you cunt" on a fucking piece of paper and slipped it to him. So my man's like, the fuck? Ian Curtis just walked off. No one's ever done that to him. So next time he heard Joy Division was being announced, and the next band up is Joy Division, and he was like, oh shit, and he listened, phenomenal. And then so we went to them and he said, yo, I'll sign you whatever you want, whatever you need. So Ian Curtis made him cut his finger open and write the contract in blood and sign it in blood. And that is up in a museum somewhere in Manchester.
That's crazy, man.
I always remember that, and I thought, yo, I need to do some shit like that to make this remember. So, boom, I do that, and then I carry on in the shubs. I'm getting about. I kind of forget about it. I'm having a few beers, whatever. The night goes well. Next day, P-Mac, my manager, pops into the room, wakes me up. He's like, dog, what the fuck did you do yesterday? I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And he's like, I knew straight away he was talking about the belt. I was like, what did it do? He's like, yo, they are fucking gassed. You want to see what they offered? You want to see the shows they just offered? He said to me, you went up to him and said, yeah, who the fuck are you? And threw your cigarette at his feet and walked off and reminded him why you got in this industry in the first place. I was like,
shit, that's crazy.
The good guys.
That's real. That's real rock and roll, man. And you know what as well? Like, when I first heard that project, yeah, the one thing I thought was it just sounded so natural. Like, there was no part about it where I was like, oh, it's not like, oh, Shotty's doing this. It's like, no, that's Shotty. Like, that's Shotty. And also the elements, it's like we spoken about from the beginning of being lyrical, syllables, multisyllabic, like the tightness of bars, all that is like, it's in there as well. It's like the whole package. The being political. Like one thing when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is Shotty's Gone Clear album, yeah. So it's gonna be safe. Hell fucking nah. Like, you came out just like straight up like, nah. This ain't safe for all. Like, it's nuts.
And the second one is like, because like the first one, I was learning on the job. Yeah. Since then, I've toured pretty much the world. I've done all my singing lessons. I've done all this. I've learned how to be a songwriter, like a compositional songwriter, instead of just like an assassin MC. So the second album, I put them together, like pieces like lanyards and stuff like that, but with more like assassin, like syllabics and shit like that. And that's why it's like COVID was like, oh fuck, man, because it's like the first one is Salt of the Earth, the second one's Scum of the Earth.
Come on, man. Jeez.
And the second one is, so the cover of Salt of the Earth, we see this guy walking away and he looks like the nicest guy, Salt of the Earth. We let the mind tell us what he's doing. He's probably someone's granddad. He's got to drop someone's shopping off. Scum of the Earth is going to be the flip of the photo, so you can see from his angle where he's got a gun and like a demon face and he's smiling. It says Scum of the Earth. It's just a bit of a flip on, like, you know, you can't really judge a book or what you see.
Yeah.
But I would say Scum of the Earth is really more smash mouth punk, like you said, like the first Arctic Monkeys album, second Arctic, it's proper like lad music, but British lad music. Like a lot of indie rock and roll throughout the times has been super whitewashed through demographic or whatever, people trying to appeal to audiences or something like that. But multicultural Manchester, London, all these types of places, most of the black lads I chill with love indie more than the white lads I chill with, and lots of different people in between. But they don't necessarily have the same narrative that a white lad go to the booze or whatever grew up with. Do you know what I mean? So there's this like there's a different side of rock and roll that's never really been touched on, where I feel like in the flip side in hip hop it has been touched on. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. You've got
the white lads talking about white culture and this and that and all that in hip hop and stuff like that, and different. I wanna bring more of hip hop's aesthetic, hip hop's just the culture, the way it's structured and stuff like that into rock and roll. Because the thing I found as a fan of both growing up, hip hop was always a tidier structure and an easier structure to understand.
Right.
You know, the 16 hooks,
yeah.
4 to 8 bar hook. You know, very like certain sounds are like, yeah. And then I feel like a lot, when I was growing up, a lot of indie rock was a bit like some fucking weird guy engineer sat there somewhere like, oh, they'll like this.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a sick medium somewhere.
100%.
That's it. And like, even like, I'm one of them guys, me. I know deep down in my heart, like naturally, realistically in the future, the who I really am is I'm a producer.
Okay.
A producer, because this is why I make all these other genres. Like, I make so many albums I delete because they're not ever for anyone else. It's for me in my house going, yo, I know exactly how to make funk. I'm gonna make a funk album on a talk box.
Yeah.
Delete. I can't let that ever fall out there, because someone will think that's me trying to put that music out.
Yeah.
But I'm every single genre going, because I know one day I'm going to be sat in a studio relying on placements, relying on producing for other acts and shit. And I've always been fascinated with every genre going, and the telltale little characteristics in music which make it that. And I think that's why I can naturally and authentically switch genres.
Yeah.
Because at the same time as I did Salt of the Earth, I had an album out with deadmau5, which was smashing the EDM charts.
Yeah. That's cold as well. We didn't even get into that, but yeah, that's cold as well.
They was out at the same time, paralleled.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, yo, Shotty's gone rock and roll. I'm like, but if you go and fly over the pond, that's not what they're saying. They're saying Shotty's gone EDM.
Yeah. But I love that, man, because I like, one of the problems I've always had, well, not really a problem, but it's always been the case of I don't ever fit into a genre, because it's never about the genre, it's about the expression. So like you, it's like, nah, today I'm doing this, then I'm doing that. And it's like, I had a meeting one time and they were like, oh, the problem is they were on my Spotify and they were like, your top 5 tracks are all different genres. And I was like, yes, like I love that. And they were like, yeah, but so we don't really know like how. I'm like, that's cool. If you don't know what to do with it, that's your problem. But that's, to me, that's what I like. I want to do that, and it's always going to be that way. And it's really good to kind of to see you do what you do in the way you do it, and for it to work. And you kind of answered my next question. My last question was really, what do you have planned for the future, and are you going to be doing more of that? So it sounds like to me that's the direction we're going in for the next project.
My direction for the future is what is now is I've just like really realized, like, I've got, like, we all have to stop falling for the bullshit old radio DJs and that pull, pretending to be gatekeepers of a young internet era and telling us how to express ourselves as adults. Like, I've embraced the fact that I'm Adam Rooney. Adam Rooney loves indie. He loves hip hop. He loves this. He loves that. I'm good at all of that shit. And depending on what I feel like at that time is what I'm going to go and do. Because if I'm lucky, I've got 80 something years on this planet and I'm 30 in. Do you know what I mean? So there's no way. Because what I found, bro, is like every time I have an era, a Shotty era, the battle rap era, the music era, every time I leave, I'm in that era, they're hating on it because they want the last one. And then I'll move on to the next one and they're hating on this because they wanted the one they was just hating on. And it's always, and then in hindsight, later on, when they sit and they take it in, and instead of all the politics of when the fashion trends change and everything in the world's changing, they forget. I always put my heart and soul into the pieces of work that I do, and they're always a good quality of, like, you know what I'm saying, it's genuine, like you say, it's myself. So what you find with yourself, I don't aspire to be a Eminem, Jay, or like, I've always aspired to be Kanye. I've always aspired to be the guy that's gonna make you scratch your head, like what the fuck, until you're listening to it and you're like, oh my days, that is fire.
Because it's funny, like even if we like, let's go like you were just saying, if we go right back here in the UK, one of the first guys to do the trap sound, that was you. Like no one was there was that sound was when you started doing it. It was super early,
and auto tune, and pretty much all of the biggest DJs now who were supporting that sound sat me down and said, "You're too Americanized. Auto tune will never take off in the UK. You need to do grime. Trap will never take off in the UK. You need to do grime. Why are you wearing gold teeth? Why are you doing this and that? You're too Americanized. They won't get it." Because I can't. I was trying to say to them, but I'm not. I'm being me because I live in Canada.
Yeah.
And we have to. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
But even before then, before I lived in Canada, my first song on auto tune was called Trendsetter, and that was 14 years ago.
Nuts.
14 years ago, it was one of the first incarnations of auto-tune. I remember watching a documentary thing that came with it, and it said auto-tune was invented for guys in submarines to speak to each other because it's easier for them to send digital waves across the water than it is audio. So they figured a way to turn the audio into digital like shit and send it across the water. And then when it came out, they noticed it had these weird influxes and shit, and so I was just fascinated with it. And where I heard it was fucking Cher,
man.
Believe in Life After Love, and then I heard obviously T-Pain, but I didn't understand what was going on.
The
master of it. Auto-tune this is something I need to say to all the hip-hop purists out there. Auto-tune is not a device to help you sing better. Auto-tune is a performance tool the same way an amp is to a guitar. It's just giving me some different sauce.
It's super weird. And it's funny you mentioned that because obviously I did a track over your beat, and say brother, and so someone must have mentioned and we're like, oh, are you using auto-tune again? And I was actually shocked because I was like, I remember having this argument, like I'm talking 2014 and a bit earlier when I was doing auto-tune, and everyone would be like, oh, I use auto-tune too much, and I was just like, I don't care, I like it. But like, to in 2020 someone's still saying, oh yeah, you use, it's like, what? Yeah, okay.
You find generally you wouldn't, if you seen that person, you just spoke to that person in life, you probably wouldn't hang about with them.
Exactly.
Think about these things like it's crazy, man, with such weird creatures where you get a million people that say, yo, Jen, don't do nothing but that auto-tune shit, that's lit. And then it's the one person that goes, you're doing auto-tune, it pisses us off.
You're like, I don't know, man. It just sticks in your head. You're just like, what? I like, and it's so weird as well. I'm just like, it's to me, it's always like, my response back then was always like, yes, and I'm using hi-hats and I'm using 808s. Like, so you don't have a problem with that, but you have a problem with this element of it. Why is that? Why do you have a problem with that? Like,
I think I think there was parts of hip hop that we fell in love with, which was toxic. I think, guys like Drake and that smashed certain like stereotypes and cliches and shit like that, and quotas of what's needed to become a hip hop artist and what's not permitted. Guys like Drake, Young Thug, and all them, and Kanye smashed that out of the park. You know what I mean, like, and that's good because I would have loved to have heard some of my favourite rappers who construct words the way they construct words and to do other shit. Then, but I didn't know that because I was conditioned to think, yo, you're soft. You know what I mean? You do everything, you're soft. It's like, how fucking dumb is that when you think about it? Like, yo, but Usman was still ready to go and listen to any R&B guys that was going and doing all that shit. Gangbangers in their own right, but the singing the song, and I always used to think like hip hop is the only genre where there is rules to this shit. Like up in like tech metal, like hardcore metal, it's like cultural rules which you can't break. And then I'm like, but this is a sonic thing, this sound thing. Why can't Genesis Elijah put that setting on his voice because he knows this is gonna sound dope and complement the piece of music I made? And but politically, why does his person come into play?
That's crazy.
Because in 30 years, bro, let's say 50 years after your death, when you don't exist and the people who knew you don't exist,
Yeah.
one's there to say, oh, he used to like vinegar on his chips. There's no one there to tell stories of you. You don't exist anymore, but your song does. So why should your personality play any part into the piece of art?
That's crazy.
That guy critiquing it's not forever.
Yeah.
But someone in 100 years is gonna go, yo, there's this old song from 100 years ago. This guy called Genesis Elijah. He sings with this robotic thing. It's fucking sick, mate. But no one's gonna go, oh, Genesis Elijah. But he used to get down and that, and there were certain guys on the block that looked at him funny after we sang. What? Shut up. I can't tell you no stories about Kurt Cobain, this and that. You don't know. Time's gone. And the craziest thing is, music is so personal to us, we forget that it's not actually ours.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you die and whatever, and then it belongs to the world, man. None of us are saying anything about the intricacies of Pac's personality right now. It's just, his music lives forever. So fuck them, and people like that need to know, for the 10 seconds of validation you get for yourself on a tweet, if you're gonna hinder not lesser artists, but lesser willed artists, you're gonna hinder their progression, because you're gonna stop them going indoors that they need to go in to find out that is the room for them or not the room for them. Do you know what I mean? Don't do auto-tune. What do you mean? He might find his fucking number one that's gonna feed his kids there, or he might realize, I'm not gonna waste my time in here because I do this one better. Especially from non-artists. If Ruben said to you, bro, yo, listen, don't do the auto-tune, then I'm going to say, well, Jen.
Yeah, maybe, I mean.
Maybe let's listen to him. But, yo, shit's auto-tune dope. All praise to the people who invented that shit, Antares and that. Shout out to them. And shout outs to the artists that fucking operate it and do it good, man. And actually the key on the thing and all that, like.
It's actually nuts, man. It's actually nuts. But brother, man, I gotta say, man, thank you for your time. It's been emotional, man. It's been emotional. I've been looking forward to this. Like, from the time you said, yo, we're gonna do this, I've been like, ooh, getting ready for this. Normally I get ready for this show, like 10 minutes before. I was ready like half an hour early, like, okay, light is right.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I had to get the computer, get the shit up on me twice. I had to get it going. But yeah, man, I'd love to get it again in the future and all that. Like,
cool, man. And we're gonna hook up musically more, man. I was actually checking our DMs, and I was like, since 2016, we're like, yo, man, we're gonna jump on Saturday, we're gonna do this, and it's just like, it's time. But now's the time. Yeah. What
I'm really proud of myself with at the minute is, bar like one or two, at the minute, like every time someone's sending me a bit to do or whatever like that, now I'm getting it done. When I sent you that beat, you got it done straight away. I know that's a lot down to lockdown, but I think...
Nah, that's me. I do that anyway. That's like, I don't mess about.
I'm starting to notice there's the alter scene, the guys who have always been the alter scene in the UK, myself, yourself, Mike Righteous, Lunacy, all these people who was kind of just were as good, if not better or whatever, as anybody else, and we always have had every ingredient. We've been kind of left out for whatever reasons, or because we don't, whatever, cool, whatever. We're us, man, supporting each other more, and now we've always supported each other, but now we start to make the songs together, make the videos, do the tours together, and galvanize that other scene. Because fucking one thing this thing has done is give a lot of clarity, a lot of sit down time to look at certain things, and a lot of myths for me have been dispelled in my head for the way this shit works. And unity is the key, man. That's why London grime scene, them Bolty Free guys back in the day,
man,
no game over, and still got hold of it and that, and no matter what John really do. So I see that happening, like with us, like us, man, all starting to work together and do whatnot, bring British hip hop back. Oh, before I go as well, rest in peace, Black the Ripper.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Black Ripper. R.I.P. Ty. Yeah, man.
Hip hop community, British hip hop community lost two absolute heavyweights and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
From this point forwards in 90 minutes.
Yeah, for 100%, man. I feel like, again, it's like it's such a weird time, man. It's just like all these things come together, but like you said, it is that clarity and really understanding. Okay, cool. What's really important, and also as well, like how do we actually really represent people's legacies, and what do we like? What do we want the scene to be? And and it's so funny because you're the same as me. Yeah, we spent so many years like being anti-establishment, anti-industry, until we got to a point where we're like, oh wait a minute, we are the industry. Like we've got to a point where this is us. We're in charge now. We can do the things we want to do and put in place the things and how we want it to be. And it's funny because we were talking about artists that are representing the UK right now on a bigger scale. Yeah. And you look at guys like yourself, you look at guys like Rag and Bowman, you look at guys who've done it before, Maverick Sabre, like, and Ed Sheeran, and it's like a lot of you're seeing guys in big positions, but are still talking the real, man. Are still really bigging up the culture and really understanding the culture, and it's so important. And again, like I said with your album, to me, if you had come out and done your album and it wasn't political and you just did your thing, did your music, it'd have been like, cool, that's what I expect. But the fact is like, no, I'm going above and beyond to really represent what I feel is right. It's massive, and I want you to know that it's appreciated as well by those of us who don't have that big of a voice. It's super appreciated, man. Like, love for that, brother, always.
I know that when it's everybody's time to do their bit, certain guys are gonna fly the flag as well and say what needs to be said, man. Fucking, I want to be able to go 2020s, but it's not. 2020 is the year for us.
I just
2021, man. 2020.
I got a track that's coming out next week. It's cancel this whole fucking year. 2020, I'm done with it. Like that's the way I feel, man.
I can't wait to hear that, bro. I can't wait. Like I say, we've got it on video. This is what I like about things like this. On video, the people are here to hold us accountable at this point. Like, yo, if me and him don't do at least one song together, rapping together, before lockdown is up, then we're making excuses.
For real.
We're doing other things. We're cleaning ovens. We're painting pots. We're taking the kids out. We're making excuses because this can happen. As soon as I come off it, do you know what I'm saying? This I've got the beat. When I come off this, I'm emailing the beat straight up.
And you know how? Hey, let's do this, man. Let's do this, brother. Brother, thank you for your time. Love always. Big up everyone in the chat, man. Like the chat's been active. People been hollering. I just see Nalini just pop up. Big up Thomas Brown. Big up Magenta Music. I am Collie. Abby Stop. Who else we got in here, man? There's a whole bunch of people, man. Mark Jones.
Shout out to everybody.
Hey, Briggs, man. Big up Briggs.
Yes, Briggs in the gap. Battle UK battle rap gatekeeper. That is. Man.
For real. Dave Bass, my brother. Rusty Eyed Ninja. Yemisi, love you, sis. Daniel Reed, first person up in here, sharing it up. Nothing but love. Shotty, thank you for your time. Hold the line. I'm gonna shout to you real quick. Let me say goodbye to the people. Guys, thank you for staying locked in. Thank you for supporting. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and just keep pushing the thing, man. Once again, it's peace and love. We shout out the whole of Manchester. Hearts are with you. Nothing but love. Guys, stay peace, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you lot next week. One.